Good morning, friends. This is Jivesh Kumar again. And so many people ask me about, please explain, please do videos about instrumentation engineering, right? So today I like to discuss about the good topic on communication, measurements, and instrumentation, right? So say this will actually I can say the communication equipments measurement in the sense actually the frequency wave detection. We have many transmitters and receivers, microphones, so sensitivity detectors, all these things are there. So for those actually thing actually we need instrumentation, right? So normally this communication measurements and instrumentation topic covers about introduction to acoustic waves, microphones, I can say sensitivity measurements, directional, directional or omni-channel characteristic detection, calibration, audio power meters, and then loudspeakers, pressure response and directional characteristics, then sound level meters, sound detections and everything. So and then studio acoustics and everything. So actually, nowadays actually in cine industry we have a lot of acoustic studios are there. So for avoiding the noise interference or any disturbance, right? So for measuring those things, actually we need studio acoustics and everything, noise measurements and decibel meters kind of measurements, right? That involves instrumentation and measurements of reverberation time or revibration times and everything. Acoustic consideration of auditorium. So actually, how much level to be allowed, how much noise to be allowed. So we need to avoid soundproof and everything, which avoids the sound loss and everything, right? So say for example, in case of instrument, Carnatic music or Western music, they need to have a sound control, and actually they need to set up a soundproof and other equipments or any sound pad, everything to be fixed within the auditorium to avoid signal loss or avoid interference from outside, or actually to avoid the external sources causing the disturbance in the noise actually, which which creates a I can say we can have a term called say they are not comfortable, I can say. So that will make actually make them inconvenience. So to avoid those things, actually the audience should hear all the music perfectly. So that is what actually we have this acoustic considerations of auditorium and sound level measurements, everything there. And then when coming to satellite and radio communication, so we have radio communication measurements and instruments, review of radio communication systems, and then modern communication receiver measurements, receiver testing, test of alignment, and noise measurements, and receiver of sensitivity and selectivity measurements, and dynamic range measurements, modulations meter, and I can say distortion meters and everything, right? So those kind of measurements are required. And then again, when coming to television measurements and instruments, troubleshooting procedures for TV, I can say TV receivers and VCRs, instruments for servicing. I can VCR instruments for servicing, video pattern generators. I can say video pattern generator makers, and then color bar generators, and then actually we have vector scope, high voltage probe for waveform monitor, and then we have microwave measurements, right? Actually microwave measurements and instrumentation, basic we here actually we can see study all the basic concepts of microwave communication measurements and instrumentation, and measurements of SWR, impedance monitoring, and then attenuation, wavelength, and power gain measurements in microwave systems, SWR meters, power meters, spectrum analysis. All these things plays a vital role, right? And then we have optical communication measurements and instrumentation. review of optical fibers, measurement of attenuation, and then dispersion, refractive index profiles, and OTDR, optical character recognitions, measurements, optical sources, measuring of wavelength and power. And not only this, actually, not only this, I can say acoustic or radio communication or microwave or television or radar or optical communication. We have laser related instrumentation for communication purpose in army, or actually in the science or field of science, and microwave, nanowave, all these things, right? Actually, they are using instrumentation. So good reference for learning this kind of communication measurements and instrumentation, right? So those are AR Frey and LE Linster, which is about the fundamentals of acoustics, and the edition is Wilsey Eastern Limited, published in first edition in 1987, and then FE Turman and JM Petit Electronic Measurements Macro Hill Limited, published in 1984, and then RR Gulati Modern Television Practices, Principles, Technology and Servicing, Ville Eastern Limited 1991, and then we have DC Agarwal Microwave Techniques and S. Chand and Company, published by S. Chand and Co. 1987, first publication, and D. Macruz Optical Fiber Measurements, Academic Press, published in 1989. So these are the good reference author books, actually, which will give you an insight on the communication measurements, communication equipment and systems measurements, and which is very useful. So I hope the details I have given is a vast thing, but actually I have tried to give in a very short time, because if I create a video in a very lengthy manner, nobody will watch and it will get bored. So that is what I'm trying to shortcut the video timing. But anyhow, it'll take a lot of time. Thanks, friends, for watching my videos. This is GB Shukmar signing off.